Would you like to know whether Dead by Daylight is worth playing in 2021? Maybe you're on the fence about buying it and you need a little push in either direction. Well, I'm going to go over some good and some bad about the game, and then I'll give you my opinion on whether or not I think it's probably worth it for you. This video is more for people who are wondering if they should buy the game, but I'll also go over some things I feel should be changed, so don't forget to subscribe and let's get right into it. If you like hide and go seek, then Dead by Daylight may scratch that itch with a chainsaw or some other weapon, because every killer has a weapon and then some form of power that they can use, and their goal is to find you and chase you around in circles for 2 minutes till they catch you or you eventually give up. Okay, so it's not exactly like that. The premise of the game is that survivors can escape by repairing generators, and the killer is trying to stop them. Both the survivors and killers can bring 4 perks into the game, which kind of act like a form of customization, and can also grant you some unique abilities. As a survivor, you have items that you can bring into the game. This is a physical item that you can use, such as a flashlight to blind the killer, a medkit to heal, or a toolbox to repair a generator faster, or to destroy a hook for a period of time. Items could be a real pain to killers, and if they're used properly, they kind of bring a whole different aspect to the game. You can also use add-ons, which basically modify attributes to the survivor's items, and as a killer, it modifies the killer's powers. Basically, they kind of are like buffs for a game or two, and you have a limited number of them till you acquire more. Now's a good time to talk about how you unlock these perks and the items and the add-ons. Basically, each killer and survivor has a blood web, and you spend blood points to unlock stuff. Blood points are rewarded after the game, and it's based on how well you've performed. I will be going into why this is both a good and a bad thing, but let's just start with some good stuff about the game. Well, it's definitely fun. That's what we're looking for in the first place, right? When I first saw the game, I thought, well, this game looks fun, but it also looks a little bit slow-paced. And guess what? Sometimes it is a little bit slow-paced. But when you play the game yourself and you find that you're on the edge of your seat, you'll realize that's what makes the game fun in the first place. You may not know how close you are to survivors completing their last gen, and maybe you're playing Survivor and you can just keep the killer chasing you a little bit longer while your team opens the gate so you can all escape. There are so many suspenseful situations, and this leads to actions in the game actually feeling really rewarding. Escaping the killer, making a last-minute save and escaping with your teammate, or finally downing the survivor you've been chasing for a minute and a half because they waved their flashlight in your direction. The game also has a ton of different customization. There are plenty of skins and different characters in the game, and different combinations of perks that allow you to play with some pretty unique and fun builds. Each killer and survivor has 3 unique perks, and these perks can be unlocked to use on other characters. So if you like a perk on one character, you can mix and match to your heart's desire, as long as you unlock them. These are called teachables, and to unlock every teachable a character has to offer, then you'll have to get that character to level 40. As for the characters themselves, you'll see some iconic characters from different movies, TV shows, and video games, and they're always releasing new characters. Now, this may not be the best reason for it being a good game, but it's one of the top asymmetrical horror games that's actually stood the test of time, at least so far. It continues development and has chapters with new content released regularly. Now let's get into the bad stuff about the game, which is probably what will make or break your decision as far as getting it. Now, if you've been watching this long, I would really appreciate it if you dropped a subscribe, but let's talk about the bad stuff. The gameplay. But you said you liked the gameplay, Styles. Well, yes, I do, but it's not without its problems. The game can be frustrating at times, especially if you take it too seriously, and the same mechanics that can make it fun can also drive you mad. One thing they've decided to include in this gameplay was an item that allows people to open the escape hatch early. If a team of survivors are coordinated and they're on Discord, they can easily escape, and there's really not much you can do about it. It's controversial, and honestly, it's not the best for gameplay, but I can't really blame people for using it, because it's actually kind of funny when you're on the survivor side and you're using it yourself. I say this more as a warning. As you climb the ranks, you can encounter some things that have very little counterplay, but don't let it discourage you, and honestly, I found some of the most enjoyable games on both Survivor and Killer in the lower ranks, so I encourage people, at least at the start, to take the game a little more casually, and I think you'll find it a lot more fun. You can also expect bugs, especially when new content is released. Most of the bugs are visual, but every once in a while you'll have something that actually affects the gameplay. I hate to say it, but this seems to happen more often than other games I've played, and I wish it wasn't the case, but it could be the size of the development team, and you can't really expect them to catch everything. Maps also get disabled every once in a while for fixes, and honestly, that's probably my biggest pet peeve because I really love certain maps. And be prepared to encounter some bugs for sure if you get the game. I know for some that can be a deal breaker, so if that's your deal breaker, don't get the game. The next thing is the grinds. I know it's a horror game, but the grind's horrific. You don't get access to all the characters, and the only way to unlock these characters is by paying real money or by using shards. It takes quite a while to get shards to unlock characters, so you'll be using real money. And then when you do unlock them, you'll still need blood points to level them up to get the perks you want. And as you can see, this is the real downside, especially to new players or casual players. It is way too grindy for a game that I think is more casual based. Players have been asking for a new system for a while, so hopefully we'll see some changes soon. But till then, be ready to grind for those perks. And oh yeah, break out your wallet if you want to play some of those iconic characters at least anytime soon. Now, I don't really find this to be a deal breaker, but there's only a ranked mode and a custom mode. If you're used to competitive games, most have a normal or an unranked mode. Dead by Daylight kind of has a small player base, so you can wait sometimes for games, and queue times can be long at higher ranked, especially depending on the time you play, so be prepared for that. Overall, if you're on the fence about getting the game, I encourage people to buy it, or at least pick it up when it's on sale. Be prepared to pay for those characters you really want to play, but the chapters do go on sale as well. Despite its problems, I highly suggest it as a solo player or as a group. Now don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and I'll see you in the fog.